What's up, guys? Teddy Cornwell here. Welcome to the Underdog Talk, the most underrated podcast on earth, and there's just something about the underdog. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have an absolute beast on the Underdog Talk. The champion herself, a bodybuilder who turned pro at 19 years old, and what? I have to throw this in, competed in her first Olympia, also at that same age. Ladies and gentlemen, the lioness herself, Miss Natalia Coelho. How are you doing today, ma'am? I should take that back. How are you doing today, champ?
I am doing fantastic. Very happy to be here and looking forward to talking to all of you.
And 2 weeks ago, it feels like just yesterday, the whole world, saw you become the champion, aka the 2022 Miss Physique Olympian. What was that feeling like after being so close to tasting it the past few years and finally getting a taste of that championship?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I'm still trying to find words to describe, what I was feeling because it was the most amazing feeling in the world. And I truly mean it, it's like I felt so blessed. I felt like rewarded for the hard work that I've done. I felt such a mix of feelings, it's just the best feeling in the world. I could not even like put it's something that I wish my heart could speak because, man, it's surreal.
Yeah, and to me, what's interesting, you mentioned hard work, and each year you seem to get better. As obviously, in 2020 you came third, in 2021 you came second, and then I gotta say it one more time, in 2022 you got the championship. So how did you progressively get better each year? Was that a training, change, or was that a new coaching? What was that? Why was that change implemented?
Honestly, I think it's just like a combination of everything because every year I back from the judges and I see what I can improve. It doesn't matter if I win, if I lose, if I'm first, second, third, last. Talking to them and understanding the criteria of my division, studying the sport, make sure I'm fitting in is the most important thing. And I've been doing this every year, and I think it's working. I've been improving and bringing whatever they want to see. And this year, I brought the whole package, I believe. I was very confident with what I brought to stage. I was very happy, feeling healthy, which is super important. A lot of people don't really care. They're just like, oh, I just want to get to the show and I think about health afterwards. No, there's a healthy way to do that. So I was just like trying to be perfect in every single thing that I could, everything that was in my power. I am confident that I got it done.
And you did get it done against some very, very tough competition, I have to add. This women's physique class is getting stacked and stacked every year with some very elite competitors. So again, just an impressive feat. And obviously, what's interesting to me again is you competed in the figure division for your first two Olympias. So, the switch, clearly you did something right, obviously switching to the women's physique. Why make that switch from figure to physique?
You know what? That's very interesting because when I started doing figure, I was winning pretty much all the shows, the pro shows in figure, but I would get to the Olympia and I wouldn't place as high as I expected. So I'm like, how come I'm winning all these shows, but I get to the biggest show in the world and I don't place? So after talking to Sandy, to Steve, Tamer, Tarek, all the judges, Joe, Tim Gardner, like literally all of them, I understood that at the Olympia, they didn't want to see striations. They didn't want to see the hardness that I was bringing in figure. So it doesn't fit the criteria. So Sandy, I actually talked to her on the phone and she's like, Natalia, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. You have two options. Either you step up and go to women's league so you come hard and the striations are going to be such as not going to hurt you as much, or you gotta come softer. So for figure, we don't want to see variations. We don't want to see the feathers on your quads or anything like that. And that's something that I was like, well, I don't know if I can go to the gym with the mindset of not giving my best, you know, or prepare for like, oh, I gotta come softer. It's just not the mindset that I. And I'm like, you know what? Let me give it a try. I'm gonna go to women's physique, but I'm gonna bring the same exact package because I was concerned about, coming too big or my femininity or whatever. But the conception that I had and that a lot of girls have, you do not any crazy than you're already going to physique. That's not what they want. They want to, something cute, feminine, with a little bit more. So I just made a decision. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try. So after the Olympia, my second Olympia as figure, I jumped in on the show like 3 or 4 weeks and won as women's physique competitor. And I got my qualification for the Olympia next year. And I was just like, okay, I did well, but let me try another show. So I did the Arnold Classic, and I also became Miss International twice. So I won the Arnold Classic twice. And for those of you who are not very familiar, the Arnold Classic is like right below the Olympia. So whoever wins the Arnold Classic is like one of the most like competitor like to go and win the Olympia. So I felt very confident about that. I did another 2 or 3 shows, was able to win the shows. So I went to the Olympia and I placed second. So that was my first Olympia, placing second. I was very happy. And I'm like, okay, I think I did a transitioning from figure to physique. And from there on, I fell in love with the division. And since then, I've been a women's physique competitor and I don't plan on going anywhere.
And we don't want you going anywhere, ma'am. And I'm smiling because so oftentimes we see people get told that we can't be someone. In this case, the striations and all this that you don't need that for that, and you took it to your own to be yourself. And obviously, it did pay off. And something that again interests me. So many things interest me about you, but that you talk about mindset so much, and you're a big believer in the power of the mind. And again, it's worked out for you very well. And you have a very good quote. If I believe that I'm going to win the Olympia, just by saying that out loud and repeating it to myself, I'm making it more possible. So how important is believing in something and then the power of the mind and the mindset?
Oh my gosh, I wish I could tell everybody, like all the athletes, all the competitors, to work on the mindset because when I was going to school, I took a lot of psychology classes, sports psychology classes, and I learned a lot from them. And a lot of people who were going to the same classes, they would just not get the message. But everything that I was learning, I was applying to myself, and I was trying actions on how could I make like a stronger mindset just by the knowledge that I was getting in school. So one of my professors, he was actually like my mentor. He was super intelligent, and he used to write for one of the magazines back in the day, like in bodybuilding. His wife competed. Anyway, started telling me like, pay attention to details, pay attention to details. Every single class, I would always be the first one to get in class. I would sit in the first seat, and I would be waiting. I would be there even before the professor because it's just the way I am. Like everything I do, I want to be the best. Just, I know my potential, and sometimes people just don't realize that they can be so much more. They're like, oh, I'm doing well. I'm like, okay, but what if you can do better? You know? So I started applying everything that I was learning to everything in my life. And I'm like, wow, the power of our mind. It's so powerful. And there are so many podcasts and so many things that I was watching and making notes. And I remember when I started studying the brain, the connections, the neurons, and everything else. And that's why I always say, once you say it out, you make it like out 20 times more powerful. So if you say something negative, if you think about negative, it's already like hurting you, let's say like that. But now you put in words when you start saying that, it's gonna be even stronger. But you can use that in your favor. So if you think something positive, just say it. Keep on repeating it. Affirmations. I'm a big believer of affirmations. The more you believe in something, the more you say something, the more the universe helps you, and the more your brain believes it. Once you believe it, you can achieve it. It is so true.
100%. And you sound like the complete opposite of, for me, I was in the back seat of class, not paying attention. So I'm impressed with that. And, this is the $1 million question to you because so many times people come into bodybuilding in different ways. For you, your entrance into the sport was very interesting as you were actually into Muay Thai. Correct me if that's wrong. Muay Thai was your big passion. Obviously, your brother kind of was a big driving force for bodybuilding and the gym. But why bodybuilding? Why did you fall in love with it?
Honestly, I think it's just like bodybuilding was already in me, but I didn't know that there was a sport or something that puts everything that I had inside me together. What I mean by that is like I was doing Muay Thai, which is like a kickboxing type of class and stuff for years, and I learned a lot of like discipline, patience, and how to control my mindset and all this stuff. But when I moved to US, I was about 14 to 15 years old, and I would get my bicycle. I didn't have like a car or anything. I was too young even to drive. So I got my bicycle. I would just ride my bicycle to the gym every single day at the same time. And I would just be very focused on whatever I was doing. And there was this bodybuilder, old school bodybuilder, who used to train every day at the same time. And he was just watching me. And then one day he came up and he approached me saying, "Why are you training like that? Are you trying to compete? What's your goal?" And I look at him like, "No, it's just the way I am, you know?" Like he's like, "No, every day at the same time. And when you're training, you close your eyes. You're just like in the zone. Like you need to have a bigger vision. Like what are you trying to accomplish?" And I started to think about it, and then from there on, he gave me like Jay Cutler DVDs, and I started watching it. He started like educating me about sport, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like I found everything that I was doing. There's actually a sport for that. There actually somewhere I can put my emotions, my passion, everything in it. So I became, I wouldn't say like motivated, I wouldn't say like driven, I would say obsessed about body. I, I was like 14, 15 years old. I had like a banner of Dotting Yates. I would study his back, like classes there. I would be like hours and hours sitting just like admiring because how come a human being can get to this amazing physique, transform your body, and it's all about the nutrition, your foods, your recovery, all this stuff together. You can change your body composition. How amazing is that? So I just started like studying. I bought all these Arnold Schwarzenegger books, and I started like reading everything I could, all the magazines, watching podcasts, watching everything out there, and I pretty much became who I became.
And Dorian Yates, who, because now so many women and young girls are looking up to you now. I don't know how, if that's sunk in, but you are now that icon, that lioness. Now I want to end this podcast with the second $1 million question. What is your biggest tip for a young lady who is trying to get into the sport of bodybuilding like you once were, man?
I would say what you just said before. Girls, work on your mindset because everybody can get in shape. Everybody can do whatever they want physically, but if you don't have it mentally, it's not going to last long. You're not going to go as far as you want to go. And that's not even just for the sport, but in everything in life. Once you realize how powerful your thoughts are, your brain is like a computer, and you have the control. So you can program your brain to work however you want to. If you wake up and you focus on the negative things like, oh my gosh, I have pain, or oh my gosh, I have a financial issue, I have a family problem, whatever it is, you are setting the tone for the rest of your day. Now, if you wake up, your affirmations and with positive things, there are always something positive in your life. I guarantee you that. So I do that every day. I have a routine. I do my meditation. I do my deep breathing. I do my affirmations. All the stuff when I wake up, so I can get myself in the zone that I need to be. So everybody who's starting or everybody who actually has a goal, just do it. Start working on your mindset. and you're gonna see how much you're gonna change your life. It is crazy. And you have the power. It's in your mind, it's in your hands to do that.
100%. Believe it and make it happen. Now, the women's sport of bodybuilding has progressed phenomenally. In fact, I think it's going in the right direction. Now, let me turn that question to you. Do you see it going in the right direction and getting that light that it deserves and needs?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I get even excited because now, like after the Olympia, we had a superstar seminar on Sunday, which all the winners were there. And before it started, we just talked. I could feel the energy, the passion that everybody in on that stage had. So I think everything we are doing together is gonna change the game, and especially me because Teddy, you have no idea how much I'm going to impact this industry. I'm telling you now because I am young. I have a lot of passion, a lot of love, a lot of energy, and I'm going to put all of that into the building. I'm going to give back to the community. So the sport needs that. The sports needs that excitement and someone who wants to give back and who wants to help the sport to grow because okay, the judges are doing their part, the promoters, the IFBB family, like the Manuel family. Joe Weider started all. The Manuals are continuing. Jay Woods is doing like a job with the Wings of Strength. The athletes, the fans, everybody needs to do their parts as well. So I was already kind of being an ambassador, but this title, I know I will be able to do so much more. And I'm already doing that. We have so many events and workshops, seminars, so many things coming up that I think the women's division, especially, is gonna grow like a lot, a lot.
And you got me emotional because I think you are the perfect competitor and the perfect person to be the face of the sport. I don't see anyone else who has that passion, that drive, and just the charisma you bring. I mean, it's infectious. You got me wanting to start training again, and I'm lazy now. I'm on my mindset and getting everything going. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the future, the past, and the present of bodybuilding. I mean, the lioness herself. It has been such an honor and privilege. Before we go, the floor is yours. Where can we find your content? What are your codes? What's next for the champ?
Well, you guys can find me on Instagram, and it's here. It's IFBB Pro Natalia Coelho. So my first and last name. And I am always trying to get back to everybody, all the messages. You can email me there, you can send me a DM because the same love that people send to me, I want to send it back. So if you take like 1 minute of your time to send me a nice message, I guarantee you I will take 2 minutes of my time to give you back. Because that's what life is about. Everything we give, it's gonna come back. It's karma. But you can find me on my Instagram. That's the best way to approach me or email. And the email icon is also on my Instagram. So just go on my page and send an email there if you want to. And for the future, well, we are going to have the first workshop of this year coming up in 2 weeks. It's going to be at the Wings of Strength headquarters in Arizona. And it's going to be the second annual NPC workshop, just women. So the head judge of the Olympia is going to be there. All the judges, a lot of pros, a lot of Olympians, and so all the women who want to come up, come over. We're going to posing with so many things there for you. Like year we had like the event sold out within I don't even know maybe 10 days. It's also going to be live stream, so everybody can watch if you cannot make it, if you cannot travel there. Even the male competitors, if you want to watch it, you can watch it. And then we're going to have after that, I'm going to be filming for the with Landa, the 8 times Miss Olympia champ. We're going to do some stuff together. And oh my gosh, there's so many things in the calendar, but I will keep everybody posted on the events on my Instagram as well. So it's gonna be a good year for me, for the sport, for all of us, and I guarantee I'm gonna honor this title like nobody else has done before because I love this sport so much.
And I can't wait to hear at the next Mr. Olympia. And still Oh man, I'm getting goosebumps already, guys. I mean, please go check out the champion. I mean, run up her codes, do whatever. This is the future of bodybuilding, and this is what we need. Please go follow, like, comment on all her photos, show some love to the champion. Guys, until next time, underdog and the champ out.